Good.
Good.
Tell us about your role.
So, I have the good fortune of playing a classic Stephen King baddie in Brady Hartsfield, who it's 2011 Ohio. He's working in the local electronics store. He's also works on the local ice cream truck. The kids love him. He's very charismatic with the kids. And then he has his home life, which is him and his mum living in a rundown, sad life. Thank you. She's an alcoholic, spends her days watching reality TV, has brought him up, teaching him how to get away with murder, basically, literally. He's also born with no empathy. He's what a psychologist would deem a psychopath. He has no empathy for any human being or anyone in the world. He thinks the Big Bang happened, we're all here, we're all going to die, nothing means anything. Love, light, music, laughter doesn't mean anything. What he really wants to do is just cause pain. That's his vibe. And there's something weirdly enjoyable about watching someone dance between these different characters: the ice cream man, the guy in the electric store, the sort of son still living at home, and then to also glimpse into his basement, metaphorically and literally, of his thoughts of what his dreams in life are, and they're dark and awful, but there's this weird sort of pleasure about seeing inside something which is so dark and rotten. It's a voyeuristic thing. It's the way we like horror, or we like watching things that scare us or frighten us or challenge us. It's like Stephen King is just so brilliant at, he opens it up but also manages to bring humour into it, and then from other characters, but also as a kind of because he's so bad, you're reading the book and you kind of love him even though you hate him as much as anyone. But he's awful. He's the worst human being in the world. But he's so good at being bad. It's kind of a pleasure to watch, I think. It was a pleasure to read. I can't say that it was a pleasure to watch. That's a mistake.
Were you familiar with the material before?
I hadn't read the book. I got the first episode, and the tone and the atmosphere and the sort of the way that you felt it could go was instantly gripping, and I felt it was amazing. And then I read the book, and it was just, it's so primed for adaptation. I can see why Jack read it and was like, we've got to do this, because it really offers the audience, the book and the TV show. It's really two different worlds. You're in Brendan Gleeson's world as Detective Hodges, and you're in Brady Hartsfield's world, and the story starts with taunting emails from Brady to this retired cop who can't sleep at night because he hasn't solved the one crime he wished he had, which was a massacre by a stolen Mercedes at a job fair. And he gets this email saying, "Hey mate, I thought you said you were going to catch me. I'm still here." And he processes it and realises it's real, and that gets him out of retirement and gets him back. He's a brilliant cop, an instinctive one. It's a pleasure to read this character and watch the bits I've seen so far of, I'm sure all of it, but of Brendan doing it. He's a brilliant cop, as much as Brady is a brilliant evil psychopath. They are brilliant in their own ways. Hodges he's like a classic brilliant cop's character, and so you want to see this guy come out, and you want to see him catch him, and you think if anyone can, he will be able to. But you're also aware that Brady is a genius in his own evil darkness as well. Like he's organised, he's methodical, he's not messing around. He's amazing with computers. He's not going to get caught easily. So you see these two, you're like, which one's going to win? Who's going to win out here? Because that's a brilliant cop and a brilliant psychopath. And that's the sort of tension as you're going through it, because if it was less balanced, you would feel like one person would get away with it or not. But it's, they're both brilliant and flawed, obviously, in their own ways. Brady more flawed than Brendan's character, for sure.
Is there any psychopath, serial killer figure which in some way inspired you when you started thinking about Brady?
There's a few. I'd read a lot of different books about psychopathy and psychology and sociopaths and children. Lots of case studies, clues from different ones. Often, sadly, psychopaths have been, a lot have been abused. A lot have been, which is prevalent in the book and our storyline as well, with the mother storyline. There's a lot of incredibly loveless, harsh upbringings, which have been what a lot of psychopaths who do these things have experienced. And so that was something which I took into it, and something which was true in ours. Obviously, Stephen King, he's done his psychopath research as well. It's so clues from different ones. But what was heartbreaking and sort of shocking and brought it all back to home was we were filming in Charleston, which a year before Dylan Roof, a young white male, went into a church and shot a handful of people when they're praying, and that was literally down the road from where we were filming. And I think this is not Stephen King writes. He was writing this stuff, but this is stuff that is going on. Mass killings, it's happening. So I watched his interviews, I watched all of his police interviews, and you see this kid who's like so warped and so has no empathy. He doesn't understand that he doesn't genuinely understand that he's affected these lives and the repercussions of his actions. He might, it's bizarre. It's just disturbing, but he's able to sit there and talk and be like, and have a smile on his face at times. And that was the kind of that was a scary and inspiring and disturbing piece of research to watch his stuff and to be like, yo, this kid is, how can you be like that? And yet he is. And so I'm playing a monster, but there's other projects that you could be a monster where you are a monster and you've got green on your face and you look like a monster. This is a monster who sadly exists in our world. There are people that do want to do random acts of, or not so random, premeditated acts of violence, and you don't have to, sadly you don't have to look very far. There's lots of it going on in history and currently, and it's got to be the worst thing about our species is that that anyone's able to do that. You don't get, in the animal kingdom, there's not many psychopaths.
Yeah.
You don't get squirrels taking out, another one just for the sake of it because they just went crazy. They just don't do it. It's a trait of our species. It's like the psychopath gene. It's interesting. There's lots of there's research on it. It's fascinating. There was inspiration from different ones basically.
So at the end of a long day, how do you decompress versus...
The weird thing was I felt like I couldn't decompress because I had to go in the next day. It was like 5 months we were like doing it, so most days I was in, and I felt like I couldn't watch, there's no way I could watch Babe and enjoy it. It wasn't in my headspace. I wasn't going to cry. I've got to keep on a simmer of zero empathy. So I watched TV shows that I thought had that wouldn't pull at my heartstrings in any way, shape or form, and basically had no empathy in them. And that weirdly, and rather depressingly, turned out to be UFC fighting, Shark Tank and Fox News, which kept me on a constant simmer of no empathy. I was just like, yeah, okay, I can watch all of this and not have any feelings and then go to bed. And that was it. That's what I did in the evenings. Take care.